the heart of the Philippines, where the sun always shines, there's a tale of resilience in the midst of hard times. George and Heidi with courage in their stride, facing down the critics with nothing to hide. Oh, George and Heidi, shining bright. In the face of adversity, they take flight. With every negative comment, they rise above, spreading love and laughter through the power of love. On the streets of Manila, they share their story bold. Through the lens of their camera, their adventures unfold. But amidst the laughter, there's criticism too. Yet George and Heidi, they always stay true. Oh, George and Heidi, shining bright. In the face of adversity, they take flight. With every negative comment, they rise above, spreading love and laughter through the power of love. They share their story bold. Through the lens of their camera, their adventures unfold. But amidst the laughter, there's criticism too. Yet George and Heidi, they always stay true. Oh, George and Heidi, shining bright. In the face of adversity, they take flight. With every negative comment, they rise above, spreading.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
How you guys doing today? Magandang umaga, masating awak mayang buntag. No, I was just going through my list if I missed, what language I know, other than Spanish. But anyway, hey, how are you guys doing today? I hope you guys have a beautiful day. It's a beautiful morning in the Philippines. It hasn't really downpoured in a while. It's been kind of like very dry. There have been few scattered rain showers, just a little bit of a Philippine what do you call that, weather report there.
It's just damn hot, people. It's just damn hot.
Yeah,
I'm not even gonna skip around no rain and blah blah blah. It's hot. So.
yeah.
Hey, Scott in the world as I see it. Hey, Sarah. Good morning.
Hey, Sarah,
Bruce
how you
is in the
doing?
house. Hey, Roy from Las Vegas. We got a dang good show with one outcome and then another in one end and out the other.
It's like corn.
You are corn.
I was talking about the band. Great band. Just saying.
Uh-huh. Right. So, all right, guys. So today we are going to cover a German expat that was married to a Filipina. He's been an illegal for 8 years. He ended up on the Rafi Tulfo show to ask for help. He's in like bad shape, needed surgery. So he's been kind of on the mend, I guess, for a while.
Yes, actually, he's got a ton of problems, and literally a ton. And we're talking about 6 figures in Filipino terms.
Yeah.
And again, I understand that some of you are like, well, he's German, that doesn't apply to. Well, actually, it kind of does. Every expat there is, keyword is expat. It doesn't matter what country you're from. If you're not from the Philippines, well, technically, this could be you.
Yeah. So he's on the mend. His name is Marcos
Strumpy.
So, yeah. So funny that it's actually his name is like Marcos, like Overstay Road. So it's just all I just thought about that.
Well, it's Marco, but of course, Marco, Marcos, Mark,
Marco.
depending on language, of course. Yeah.
And there was a Filipina that helped him, and it looks like because currently he is selling empanadas. So it is Tatai's Empanada is what he's calling his business, but it looks like she's involved, like she's in social media, just kind of like a micro social media person like us, and she started to help him and put the word out. Weirdly, I seen they're doing TikTok and selling this stuff
Actually, I
too,
was gonna
and
say she's
they're
actually a
actually
TikToker. She's a TikToker.
they're packaging. Well, she's got a presence on Facebook.
Well, of course she does, but I'm saying that's her
Oh, is
main
it?
feed.
Okay, so
Yes.
but it's weird for me to see them box up and put plastic bags around food
We'll get
that's
into that.
yeah, so it's kind of but we will tell you what's actually going on with things. So need the coffee to wake up. Wake up. Today's gonna be a good day.
What song is that? That's not on our news theme song.
And then we'll actually open up our panel afterwards.
Um,
See what's going on.
hey Roy, sir. Good evening from I was gonna say LV, Las Vegas. Scott, hey Scott, how you doing, man? Hello, George and Heidi. Hey Scott. Sarah Tyson, hello, Heidi and George. Hi Sarah, how you doing? Bruce Davis, how you doing? Hi Heidi and George. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Scott says you look fantastic.
Got some sleep. So this is one time I will say that I wasn't up at the crack of dawn. So a little bit of sleep. So
Yeah, Roy says, stay on target. Stay on target. That's what Roy is trying to say.
yeah, stay on focus.
Right? Hey, Expert Bruce, good morning.
Good morning.
Sarah says, hello. Good morning. Oh, hey, Paige, Philippine Expat Prepper.
Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
Thank you, Sarah.
Right? I'm very farmerish. Yeah, usually I put a stick in my mouth, usually, but not today. Not today.
I can tell you where that stick is, though.
Well, it gives it a little bit of flavor. Willy Wonka, eat your heart out. Anyway, Bill I. Good morning from Bill and Evan in Toledo City, Cebu.
Good
Hey,
morning.
Bill. Tony's in the house.
Yeah,
right? What's this dawn you talk of?
Dawn. What dawn? About early AM?
Yes, correct.
Oh, okay. We'll probably get into other topics after we cover this. So appreciate it.
Oh, crap. Besides says, hey, Heidi and George, is that wedge that says stay on target? Stay on target. Stay on target. It's a Star Wars reference.
Gotcha.
What? Oh, okay. No. There's an added. Yeah.
Oh, the topic.
Good morning, gang. What is today's topic? That's what Cedric is asking.
Well, we'll go ahead and start it. So we will play the footage that'll actually. Well, is that like an opening or?
Yes and no. Okay, now this one's derived from TikTok. Obviously, I took away the audio. Well, the music, as it were. And we'll play it, and then we'll pause as we go along. Because again, some need translation, some don't. But let's get into it. I guess. Right? I mean,
Yeah, like I said, I'm sure.
Good idea, Scott.
Yes. Yes.
So this is Ty's empanada. The funny thing is, it says official. That's
well,
his.
it does because there's probably copycats.
Right. This is
since it
his
happens.
Facebook before the show. So this is what he is before the show.
Yeah.
No, that is not his wife. That is not his girlfriend. It's just a concerned Filipino citizen trying to promote him so he can sell his empanadas.
Yeah. And a lot of the business has actually been through her. And since the Rafi Tufo show, it's really actually picked up. So,
Correct.
right. So,
What's your nationality, Mr. Strumpy?
I'm German.
You're German, but you speak good English, though.
Well, my second language.
Okay, so you're a vendor of empanada here in Manila or in the province?
In Pasig.
In Pasig. How did you get here to the Philippines?
I came here in 2015 for to marry my wife.
Oh, so you have a Filipino wife?
Yes, actually, we are not together anymore.
still married though.
I wonder why. I'm just saying.
She is pretty.
Since 2017, 18, we are separated. It's because
That's not far,
it was not intended to stay
drive.
here. When I was
I just want to say real quick, I don't know what it is. There are a lot of guys that claim when they get here that, their health and all of that gets better. They lose all this weight and stuff. The one thing I've noticed in vloggers and other expats that are not vloggers is it seems like they age rough here. We've noticed the dark circles around some of their eyes, and because even though that's 2015, he sure looks different. So
right, and also just so you know,
rough.
it says Marco Strumpy right there, which is his name.
Strumpy.
On the bottom, it says asking for help. That's what it says in Tagalog. Just so you guys know, humihingi ng tulong, which means asking for help.
Mhm.
after the marriage, when I wanted to check in at the airport, they couldn't find my ticket. It was delayed.
So you came here back in 2015 to marry your Filipina
That's his wife.
wife back then, right? What's the name of the girl, your wife, sir?
Camina,
Carmina
Liban,
Livan.
Hugo. I married here in my vacation, and
During
when I-
vacation, you married her.
Yeah,
You marry her.
I married in my vacation. Yeah, we met us before since 2013 already by social media, and I was here in 2014 for holiday also, and then in 2015 I came here to marry her. That's the plan.
Okay. Oh, so what happened, sir?
So after the marriage, I wanted to turn back in my country after vacation for continue my work
Right.
there. And they told me at the airport that my ticket was delayed. I had an online booking of my vacancy. My flight back was not there. And
Okay.
Deleted.
Right. It's a virtual ticket. Now you'll hear him later on give more details or lack of details, as it were. He keeps saying that my passport, I mean not passport, my ticket was deleted. And then eventually he says someone deleted my passport. Now, the interesting thing about this particular statement is he did not accuse anybody. But that tells you the kind of person he is. What I'm saying is, normally a good person won't point fingers at anybody. He'll be like, "Well, somebody did this, somebody did that," because. But point being is, honestly, in my opinion, and this is from me, I think his wife did it out of spite.
Big girl. Can you come sit
No, I
closer?
know.
Yeah,
So yeah, I believe his wife did it out of spite, if that makes any sense. He's not saying it's his wife, but it doesn't take a genius to read between the lines, you know what I'm saying? Because later on you'll hear him says, someone deleted my ticket.
when it's delayed and it's stored in a database, basically in internet somewhere, and someone has deleted it,
Yeah, see, someone.
someone.
how you can
deleted
approve that? Huh?
So your
Yeah,
marriage didn't
prove it.
work out. After you marry her, was this a church a church wedding?
Oh yeah,
or
it was in a Christian marriage.
Christian marriage.
Yes,
Okay, wedding. And then after the Christian wedding, why do you have to go back to Germany? and
because
leave
of
her
my
behind?
work, I had a job there.
Okay, and there was an agreement that you will leave her behind here while you go back to Germany for your work.
Yeah.
And she's gonna follow later on.
Exactly.
And it didn't happen. Didn't work.
It
out
didn't
that
happen.
Way.
It was
Why?
because of the ticket.
Oh, because of the ticket.
Exactly.
So you were.
I could not have been stuck here because of the ticket.
What happened to the ticket, sir?
I don't know. Someone deleted it.
He keeps repeating, someone deleted it. So it's kind of like one of those things. Now, this may not be significant to you guys, but however, it is a big significance. Regardless which partner you have, doesn't matter what country they're from, doesn't matter what country you plan to be an expat. Women are women, or men are men. What I'm saying is,
Cray
if you're
cray is
if you
cray
correct,
cray,
cray
no
is cray cray.
matter what continent you're
Right. It
on.
doesn't matter. It doesn't
Cray
matter what
cray.
country you're with. If your partner is like effed up, there doesn't mean they're gonna f you. Won't they won't f you up? You know
And
what I'm
I
saying?
think guys got it like they're so implanted by some of the social media or friends like, oh, they're the best women on earth and this and that. And, the dating scene and marriage is so much better in Asia. And it's like, dude, all those things apply.
Right. And
Wake up.
and also another thing, I'm somewhat in the subject, but not in the subject. In all fairness, okay. Because I hear this a lot, because I'm Filipino. I hear a lot that Filipinos are the sweetest, nicest people on earth. Yes, I'm not going to deny that. That is true, and I'm not patting myself or my fellow man on the back. However, you cross them, you piss them off, they're just as nasty than you would ever think of.
They're still people. They're human. They're a
Right.
human being.
So it doesn't mean
We have a joke about
it
them
doesn't
being
mean
a
they're
bean.
nice. It doesn't mean
They're
that when
just a
you
bean.
no, okay, some will are more mature, of course, and you break up with them, they'll take it like mature adults. I get it, but by majority,
And we
no.
see where the same thing that goes through my head is I get it. It took 8 years to get some money back for an actual ticket. But guys, the income's here and work here. Even if he got a job, at a call center, it would take a while to get some money for a ticket.
Yeah, actually, this is a good point. I don't normally click on the chats during this portion. However, Black Graham, I was gonna actually say this before you actually made the statement, and thank you. Black Grandpa says, "How broke was this guy? If the wife canceled the ticket, why didn't he just book another ticket?" Exactly.
Right.
My thoughts exactly. I'm like,
And then it's
whoa.
a vicious circle. So of course, like we always said, there's something else missing. Like literally, there's
Right.
a section of this that we're not getting from him. And that's the thing about newspapers and videos like this. There's always missing pieces. This is always, as our show, it is entertainment, and they usually see it like this. The guy's being helped on the side because I have like I'll list it here later. He's actually got a list of what he actually can do.
Right.
Like it says he was an IT specialist, guys. It says that he has a bachelor's degree. He worked in the BPO industry. He worked in a call center. He owned his own art craft. He can do arts and crafts. I guess he owned something dealing with that. He had businesses before. He's a writer and an author, allegedly. This was listed by her when she was trying to get him work. So
Right. So yes, again, like
I'm not, I would just say,
that's the first thing that crossed my mind. Like, oh, okay, so he couldn't
but
afford another ticket.
right. And it could be a vicious circle on the immigration
No,
thing.
again, I understand, but again, in all fairness, again, that for the most part, a lot of people don't have. I guess it's safe to say a lot of people don't have $1,000 in their account. I'm just saying.
Correct. And we've said that. And here's the thing is you'll get where you'll hear like these people that plan for their retirement right and all this money and blah blah blah. Not everybody does. It's the same as the US. So people coming over here, they come over here because it's cheaper to live, because they're coming to stay with a woman and everything. And like we always said, that we're just average people. We don't have a lot of money in the bank. We've got X amount. We're just your average person, like in, like the US. You're just living an everyday life and everything. And not everybody has that. What would you say is a percentage of people that are actually living like they would in the US? I don't think people calculate enough money to come live here. Now it's increasing.
Well,
And become
be
a problem.
honest with you, I would say 98%. Because honestly,
I'd probably say about 80% are
realistically,
living with some
unless
money,
you
but not enough.
unless you haven't lived in the Philippines, you really don't know. I mean, no offense to anybody, but here's the thing: there's an old adage from the West. You know what I'm saying? Expect the best, but prepare for the worst.
Oh snap! Someone said they should have borrowed money from Paul.
What? Oh, dang! Where is
Mr.
that?
Sapington. By the
Oh,
way, for those
there's
that
some
didn't
lag.
see
Yeah,
on that
I don't see
video,
that.
yeah, um, that actually didn't see the videos, we've got two of them out. Like we have the live stream and we recapped it for everybody on the Paul deal. We did put a description inside, like we always say. We usually there's something on the inside of the description that gives a little bit more information, and sometimes there's links. But
Yeah, Paul can afford it. I mean, like, 3.25 million. Yeah, of course he can.
yeah,
Easy. Sadly enough.
I'm sure that'll be a further discussion later.
Actually, it's what about. Well, anyway, I'm not gonna.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
let's-
reveal the ending to the
Yeah,
story.
I
But
wondered.
all right, let's go on.
Deleted the ticket
Online.
online. And where is she now? Carmina.
And my wife,
Yes.
I don't know.
You
Maybe
know.
in Manila.
Maybe
We
she-
are separated since 7 years.
7 years ago. Since then,
Okay. He is in Pasig, which is adjacent to Manila, so it's nearby. So I guess she's from Manila, and then they settled in Pasig, and then when she abandoned him, that's well, I mean, obviously by default, if you're broke, you have no choice but to stay where you're at.
Right.
you were working here in the Philippines as a empanada vendor.
No. Actually, in the first 6 months, I was staying here as tourist visa, as tourist. And after this, this is only a possible 6 months. And after this, I tried to find work, but without documents and resident visa, it's not possible to find your work.
Of course.
There's the main problem in our marriages was money. As long as I had the money, money is not a problem. You know, when you don't have the money, money is a problem. Strange when people can
Right.
change, you know. And
Not strange.
so for that,
Yes.
I think this is also
Normal.
one of the reasons why she had left me, because I was not successful.
Okay, that's the key point. What's that old adage? No money, no.
No pussy, seeing on the ocean.
Exactly.
I'm gonna float on the sea, pussy. Never mind you. No, I mean, here's the thing. You guys are only kidding yourself whether she's Filipino, whether she's American, whether she's a Western woman or an Asian woman or whatever. We always said women are women are women. The same with guys. Money becomes a problem. Children and how to rear them. And a lot of guys are going for women that have children. So when you have stepchildren, it's even harder when you're trying to bring the kids up. So that's a problem when it comes to marriages. And what's the third one, babe? Probably just lack
Love
of.
and
Okay.
marriage.
Right.
love.
So money definitely, and like I said, cray cray, and no money is the same on any continent, man.
Well, I would say cray because at that point, when it comes to
It's still
the
all the
needs
same.
and necessities of a woman, aka mom, then it goes in a different category. Which, of course, obviously, at that point,
Roy said, put $100 bill on your forehead, and you're the best looking guy in the room. I bet so. Yeah, and I think that's anywhere. I think there's a room of educated and otherwise women, and then there's a room full of guys, and if they know he's got money and successful and this and that, all of them will still swerve towards that side. They're just not going to. The only person that dates a broke average looking guy or good looking guy is like when you're super young, okay, and you're in love. I could tell you, and I'm sure even George can say at some point in your like first relationships or who you marry first, oh, we're going to be in love forever and we're never going to break up and we're going to be our 80th anniversary. And you have all that hope and dreams, and it's just a trip. They never work out. So that's the only time you ever, it's like, we can just live on love. You're sitting there and you guys are sitting there eating at the dinner table and all this stuff, and you're sharing food, and you guys are willing to drink off each other's drinks. And then 5 years after that, it's like you're spitting in their cup situation. True story.
yeah. Actually, Sarah made a good point.
I've
And
seen that on Lifetime.
just so you guys know, before you make purchase of your ticket, check the refund policy, check the cancellation policy. Saratan says if you had a ticket, would a credit be issued as long as a cancel before use date?
I said, I think we're missing some stuff from here. It could have been a non-refundable too.
Correct. There are certain companies or booking agencies that the moment you purchase the ticket, it's
Like,
fixed.
yeah, like Kiwi and Kayak is some of the common ones we use. And when I initially come over here on the Billig Buy-in, I had to have an outro, which you don't need an outro ticket for that. Now, when you're coming in on a tourist visa, you do have to have the outro, you know, and at least to another country or back home. It doesn't have to be back to the US. They gave me credit for that. So it was almost, I think we had it booked out for the year. And then when I didn't use it, I made sure it was. So now I've got like a $60 credit. So that, and it was only 60. Of course, the prices have gone up. So,
Right. But yeah, no, that's a good point. Again, like I said, not every ticket is refundable or you get a credit. Not all of them, no.
The mere fact that you married her, you would have gotten yourself a visa to stay here in the Philippines
No.
based on the marriage.
No,
Marriage
only
pa.
tourist visa. It's maximum valid.
Kausapin natin itong concerned citizen na napakabait at tumutulong sa kanya, si Carrie Abad. Hi, Miss Carrie.
Okay, he says, let's talk to the concerned Filipino citizen, which is Carrie Abad.
How are you?
Senator Tulfo. I'm fine naman po.
Napakabait niyo po talaga. Magpapagod kayong tao. Nakita po namin yung video. Si Carrie Abad ay isa pong estudyante, third year college. Saan eskwelahan po kayo, ma'am?
TU
Maganda po.
Right. He basically says that Carrie Abad is a third year college student.
She's magang pogi.
Yeah. Well, technically, you can be handsome if you're female.
I was
again.
just combining the words maga pogi.
Okay. Well, I mean, a lot of people think that beautiful only applies to sexuality. No, you can be a beautiful male or
I'm
or a handsome female.
I'm pogi, maganda, and delicious.
Exactly.
Masarap. I'm masarap, pogi, maganda.
Yeah, I guess you can use that translation.
po, TU Pitagig.
Hi, TUP Taguig. Sa mga taga-TUP, kumusta kayo? So, paano po siya nakilala, ma'am?
Nakilala ko po si tatay. Nagtitinda po siya ng empanada doon po sa kahabaan ng San Joaquin sa Pasig.
Okay, so basically, she goes to University of the Philippines, Taguig, and the reason why Marco is here in the Rafi Tulfo show is actually all because of her. She did that video that I showed from the start, and then right now it's a clip of it, and she kind of was trying to help him out and promoting him so he can sell more, and it went viral. So obviously it went viral in the Philippines. So if you're Filipino, odds are you've probably seen this clip. But so it went viral on the Filipino side, and that's what made him land in the Rafi Tulfo show.
Then sobrang tirik po ng araw.
Okay.
Kaya parang naisipan ko po na bumili sa kanya. And ayun po, tinry ko po siyang videohan and hindi ko in-expect na magte-trending yung video niya sa TikTok ko po. And ayun po, sobrang nakakatuwa dahil ang dami na pong bumibili ng empanada niya nung simula po nung dumating ako sa life niya.
Kayo pong swerte niya.
Opo, naging instrument po ni God.
Yes.
So she says, I became an instrument of God, and Rafi says, you are his good luck.
Yeah, so she was just explaining about being on TikTok and selling his stuff. Looks like she upped his prices too, because it showed on his stand it was 20, and I think now she's selling them for 25.
Right, they used to be 20, right?
Yeah, so it looks like she's become, helping him with the business, got him on TikTok. I'm assuming at this point we were discussing licensing and the proper way and all of that. It's probably currently somehow all been switched to her name. Or was. I'm not sure what's going on.
We'll go deeper in
Yeah.
that one. Yeah.
Okay. So I have not seen this whole thing yet, guys.
Now, yung empanada raw ho, ma'am, ay hindi daw siya ang nagluluto. Pinapabenta lang sa kanya.
Yes
Nangumisyon
po.
lang siya.
Before po, may nag-aano sa kanya, bibigay po nung empanada. Bali, taga-tinda lang po siya nun. Yung friend niyang black guy po.
Okay, you heard the word black guy. Now, he says he doesn't cook these empanadas, right? And he says, yeah. At first, he has an African American gentleman that just provided to him for free.
Pero nag-away po sila.
Oh.
Then ngayon kami na po ng mom ko, pati ako, yung nagpo-produce ng empanada, which is para may source of income siya. Kasi ayoko pong
Now, this is where it kind of gets
So real quick, so you're saying that he currently gets his products from other people like the other vendors here do? They're
Well,
not really cooking them, they're
technically,
getting them from all.
what you said is correct. He's getting it from other people. At first, he was getting his empanadas for free from an African American dude. So I guess he was just helping out. And then they had a argument, and he's like, you know what? Screw you. Make your own empanadas. However, this is where Carrie stepped in, and her mom started making the empanadas for him.
Okay, I didn't know she was making them. Okay,
Well,
sweet.
but see, that's the thing.
They do look pretty yummy.
I mean, I'll get into it later on, but anyway.
Makita siya na wala siyang kinabubuhay.
Ayun. Okay, tinutulungan niyo siya by way of giving her something to do, which is magtinda ng empanada na kayo
Yes
pong
po.
nagluluto. Oh, ang bait-bait. Saan naman po siya nakatira?
Ngayon po sa Nagpayong Pinagbuhatan Pasig po.
Okay, so he says, okay, so you're the source of his income by providing him empanadas. And then he says, where does he live? And she says, oh, he lives in Pasig.
Pero kaninong bahay po siya?
Sa bahay niya po, dun sa nirerentahan niya.
Magkano yung renta raw?
2.5 per month.
Okay, so this girl Carrie and this gentleman Marco don't live in the same house. And he asks, like, where do you guys live? Do you guys live together? And she says, no, he lives in his own rental apartment. And then she says, well, when Rafi says, how much is the rental? And this is the part where Rafi says, she says, oh, it's $2,500 a month.
I'm just checking. Actually, yeah, because Just Fact says he saw this last week. It shows that we got this video yesterday. No, I'm just saying, there it is. I'm saying it's a new video. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2.5 flat.
2,500 pesos per month. Are you planning of going back to Germany, or
No.
you want to stay here for good?
I stay here for good because I had a job offer.
Here?
Yeah, and that's why I need the resident visa for that I can work.
But we have a problem, though. We have to talk to the immigration, see if that's possible.
Exactly.
They
See, that's the trick. Immigration.
Yeah, this was yesterday.
na Sandoval spokesperson of immigration.
Yes, actually, ang challenge po dyan kasi since 8 years na po siyang overstaying dito, actually, nag-incur na po siya ng napakaraming fines and penalties. That's for 8 years po. So, kasama po doon ang blacklisting because of...
Yeah, so according to her, this case is a challenge because, one, he's been an overseer and he is on the blacklist list.
overstaying for such a long time. What he could do po, una, ang kailangan po niyang gawin kung ganyan, is siya po ay kailangang i-settle yung kanyang fines and penalties with the Bureau of Immigration. And then mailalagay po kasi siya sa blacklist dyan. So an option that he could do is go out of the country and request for lifting of his blacklist. Or another option is he could request to the commissioner to reconsider his case. Pwede niyang sabihin na he has been...
It's very expensive, by the way, guys.
Right.
Any
So
reconsiderations is extensively expensive.
correct. He has to go to the commissioner to have a motion put in for reconsideration, and he is on the blacklist.
Yeah.
Right. And that's after he paid the fines and penalties. That's not before, that's after.
a good resident here in the Philippines, and he has been helping siguro citizens of the country.
So he's been a productive member of the society because hindi naman po siya umaasa sa gobyerno, hindi siyang kumukuha ng mga benepisyo sa ating gobyerno, bagkus siya po ay nagtatrabaho ng sarili sa tulong po ng ibang mga kababayan natin. That's how he survived. So that alone could be counted as something na baka may consider po. Tama?
Okay, so he's saying this gentleman has not been, I guess the more concise wording is leeching off the government. Because he says he has had assistance from our fellow men, but he hasn't been leeching off the government.
Well, I don't know there's any leeching to be leached. They don't give
No, they
food
don't.
stamps,
For self, yeah,
welfare,
they don't do that.
cash,
Right.
or even homeless shelters to put them in. So I'm not sure what the leeching he's talking about. There is no, and he's not the only German. We just covered a German guy because I seen where there was a comment stating that not a German person, it's just ill planning, but there's a lot of homeless expats here right now. And a big percentage that are here are on limited money. So people are just kidding themselves if they think every expat here is full of money. It's the same back in the US. Back in the US, a lot of them just had basic jobs with little to no savings. It was just an opportunity for people to come here for multiple reasons, whether it was for dating and that it was cheaper, or just being cheaper, or being able to work online and have inexpensive living thing. It doesn't mean people planned or has a lot of money. So,
Right.
yeah.
Ma'am?
Yan po ay maaaring aralin para kung mai-consider po ng ating commissioner. So pwede po siyang magsambit ng kanyang request sa opisina po ng ating commissioner.
Magkano po yung kanyang fines and penalties po?
It might fall po two figures ng thousands na po siya. Around 1,700 ng monthly extension. So that's for 8 years. And then there's fines and penalties po around 70,000 na idadagdag pa po doon.
Nabanggit po sa amin kanina ng isa mga researcher namin, 170,000, is that?
Okay, now first off, that's not the amount. That's the confusing thing about this particular immigration officer is okay, I'm not attacking her by any means or criticizing her. She obviously has not dealt with enough people to know you don't say figures unless you're certain of them. Because Rafi says, how much is the fees and penalties? She did say, and you guys heard it in English, because again, she's speaking Taglish, which means part Tagalog English. She says in 6 figures. That's not true. That's not what she said. But the problem is, it gets stuck in your mind. Oh, it's only 6 figures. 5 figures. He said 5. Either way, Rafi says, okay, basically he says one of my staff says it's about 170,000 pesos, and she later on says, no, it's way higher, way higher.
Correct?
That might be a little too low pa po because it's 8 years po na overstaying siya.
Oh, abutin po ng 200?
More than po. I believe it will be more than.
Wow.
Yeah, see, it's going to hit 200,000 pesos. No, more than that. That's what she says. Which, I mean, like I said, I know what she said earlier, but it goes against what she said. But people, when you talk to them in real person, there's no rewind button. You can't say, but that's not what you said earlier.
I'm surprised it's not higher because let's say basically a 6-month visa, which I guess is what he was getting. So every 6 months, it's about 12 to 15,000 pesos. It's just somewhere in that realm. So even if it's 12,000, that's 250. So that's $500 a year. So 500 a year times 8 is what, about 4,500. So the fees in the end, they must have adjusted something because that's without anything. Would have been 4,500 US. Give or take.
She's not saying that's what it is. This is pre.
No, I know. I'm just telling you what it would be if you'd have paid without any penalties.
Right. No.
That'd have been 4,500 US for 8 years.
Yeah, that's overstaying and blacklisted and fines and whatnot.
What they're saying. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Oh, small thing too. I mean, somewhat relevant, but not relevant. Be aware if you owe money here in the Philippines, they can put you in jail. Just saying.
Just depends on who you are.
Yeah. In the U.S., if you owe creditors money, they can't do anything. Here, they can throw you in there.
Nagdarasal. Maybe you need to sell trucks and trucks of empanada.
How many?
Well, he's saying blocks. I think he meant like crates.
Yeah.
He says,
I think load of empanadas.
Yeah, he says you need to sell crates and crates of empanada. He said he used the word blocks, but I'm pretty sure he meant crates.
Pay off your fines.
Yeah.
I'm gonna help you, sir. Pero tweeting na siya. Siguro, ma'am Carrie, kaya siguro mga ilang container na
empanada. Para
Yeah.
na makasurvive.
But anyway, let me ask you this, Mr. Strumpy.
Yeah.
You have a family in Germany, I'm sure.
We are not close.
Not close.
Not close.
But that's the country where you were born and you
Yeah.
grew up with so many friends, and of course, I know that you study there and all. While here in the Philippines, except for Miss Carrie, you don't have that much friends. So why do you prefer staying here in the Philippines than going back to your country, to Germany?
In the first place, because I'm not close with my family.
Okay.
It's not about. It's unlike here, and when we are leaving our
You like it
house
here?
of the parents, then we are stay by our own, and we don't bother our parents like they do it here.
So my
I'm
question:
sorry,
well, why
it's
do you
another
like it
tradition.
here versus
Okay.
Germany?
So one brother is unemployed. He cannot help me. The other brother is living his own life. We have contact on Facebook, but it's not so much. My mom is in hospital because of dementia. She cannot help me. And other relatives I don't have. Very close.
Okay.
So for that, I have nobody there, even not friends, because I'm so long time here now and so
They got all these rich relatives. I'm not buying all of that. A lot of people have that same situation. It's been time after time. We've talked to expats, and otherwise, not everybody has something to fall back on. Like a lot of the guys are between 50 and 70 that are coming here. So think about who's actually still alive in their family or that don't have kids or other things. So that's just something that most know that you don't rely on is usually, family members, unless they're super rich, are usually not going to help. So that makes sense.
Right. I mean, as a general rule of thumb, if somebody doesn't physically give you a gift, I'm not saying be materialistic. That's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if a person does not give you a physical gift and delivers to you personally on your birthday, you can't count on those people. I mean, as far as real problems are, you know what I'm saying?
And some just won't.
Because they don't have that type of rapport. They don't have that type of connection.
Mhm.
that I said, well, I'm happy here. So this is my home.
This is your home.
This is my home now.
Well,
and
well, I'm
why
flattered.
not? And yeah,
I'm flattered to hear that.
I have my fun
Thank you,
with
sir.
Carrie, and yeah, I learn also the language. It's not easy, but I do. And I
Ang mga
like,
siya niya, ni Senator Nancy Binay.
Ay, no po. Ay, hindi ko po alam.
Kita, akala ko
and it's also
Senator Nancy.
it is also fun for me to sell empanada on the street and the cookies and talk to the people, and they like that.
Okay.
And because they're saying I'm old, but I'm kind and something like that, and I appreciate that. And what I said before, I have someone.
And who's that someone?
Carrie, yeah, she knows
Oh,
her. She knows
sorry.
that.
Carrie takes good care of you.
Yeah,
Wow.
So he just said that again. He has technically a girlfriend, and then that's when Rafi says, "Oh, so Carrie's just taking care of you."
and that one offered me a job in some company.
Okay.
They working with Heidi.
That's the reference.
Hydroponic farming.
Okay. Are you an agriculturist back in your country?
Not really, but the work is kind of easy. And
What is your profession when
I'm call
in
center
Germany?
agent.
A call center agent?
Yeah, I'm IT professional.
Okay. So, sir, this is what we're going to do. We're going to accompany you to the immigration, and we'll do some computation about your fines and penalties.
Yeah.
And if I can afford to pay it, why not? I'll pay for it for you. I'll take care of it. And then, of course, I'm going to get you a lawyer, an immigration lawyer, to make an appeal to the commissioner of the immigration. Write him a letter and explain your side and see what happens. Yeah, nagpakasal siya sa isang Pinay. So, ano nangyari doon sa kasal niya? Di ba, base doon sa pagpapakasal sa Pinay, dapat by now, citizen na po siya ng Pilipinas.
Okay, now, first off, remember this is a show. I'm pretty sure Rafi's very well versed with the laws. The reason why I preface this is because, again, he's going to say something that doesn't make sense. He says he married a Filipina. Shouldn't he be a citizen by now? No, really. I mean, that's what he said. Which, no, that's not how it works, guys. It's not like when you take a Filipina or Filipino to the U.S., you marry them in 3 years, they can get citizenship. It doesn't work. It doesn't work that way here.
Or kahit man lang sana allowed na siya mag-stay rito, magkakaroon siya ng green card.
Pwede
So now that part is valid. Once he's married to a Filipina, can he get a green card, aka a permanent resident card? Yes, he can. However, and then let's go on.
po siya kung nag-apply po siya ng residence visa based on the marriage. But kung yung marriage po na yan ay hindi na po in effect or hindi magkahiwalay na po sila, mapapawalang visa na rin po yung residence visa na na-issue sana sa kanya.
Okay, so what she said is, Heidi's very familiar, and we've told you guys this. She says, yes, he can be issued a permanent resident visa due to the marriage. However, the moment the marriage is dissolved, or it doesn't have to be dissolved, they don't have to be divorced. The moment they don't live together anymore, it's like in the US. If immigration can prove you guys don't live together, doesn't matter if you're married or not currently, they can dissolve your visa, and that's what she said.
And it's very difficult, like he said, to get the Filipino citizenship. So that was kind of a weird statement.
Right.
There's only like 14 people ever since the beginning of time, since way back when, hundreds of years. There's 14 people that have been given it. So
Correct. And again, that's why I always say, with all due respect to Rafi, again, it's a show. He will say things or ask things that he knows the answers to, but he'll ask them anyway, just so, they'll have something to talk about.
So he has to apply. After the marriage, he has to apply.
Yes, tama po kayo.
But you didn't do that.
I did.
Yes.
You did? But he did, ma'am. He did apply.
Oh, sige po. We will check the records po if there was such a visa issued to him. Baka hindi lang po siya aware doon sa mga documentations niya. Papacheck din po natin kung sakali at maaaring makatulong po yon. Maaaring mabawasan yung overstaying po niya dito.
Okay, so what she said is, well, first off, Rafi and Marco says, well, did you apply for the marriage visa? And he says, yes. And then she says, well, now that we know that, we'll look into it. And then we can probably lessen the penalties, during the time of, I guess they were married, so to speak. And then, because technically, I guess, it's not a guess thing, it's a fact. If you technically are a, permanent resident card holder versus a non, the penalties are different when you overstay. That's what she said.
Ayun. Okay. Sige, sir. Sir, we'll accompany you tomorrow to the immigration and let's see what we can do. And if we can afford the fine, if it's not in the millions, if it's only in the hundreds of thousands, which I can probably afford, then I'll help you. I'll take care of it.
I have another question.
Another question.
Another question, yeah.
And what is
it's more about my health status. I have a hernia.
Oh, you have a hernia?
Hernia.
Oh, you want me? Okay. Have you operated?
No.
Bring it to hospital, a clinic.
Basically, yes.
A doctor, a specialist.
No, I have already. It's everything in preparation, and we need only support for the lab test and the surgery later.
Done.
Yes.
Done. That's it. I'll take care of it. Tomorrow you'll have your surgery. And for now, like I said, your hernia, I'll take good care of that. Your lab test, any kinds of test, I'll take care of it.
But most important is that resident visa.
Resident, of course.
Yeah.
That's why first things first, we have to go to the immigration. Very, very important. Without the immigration, no can do, you might get deported. Carrie Abad, sobrang thank you. Napakabuti niyo po, napakabait niyo po. Ako'y sumasaludo po sa inyo.
Rafi says, Carrie, I applaud you. I salute you for taking care of this gentleman.
Thank you.
Sir, it was for me a pleasure to talk to you,
It's
and
because of
also
her.
an honor, and thank
Because
also
of her.
to Carrie. And
She's got a big,
you very
huge heart.
much.
Thank
to
you po.
all.
She's very kind. She's very nice.
Yeah, God bless her.
Give her a hug.
Huh?
Give her a hug. As a thank you.
Yeah.
Your friend.
Don't be shy.
Don't
Your
be shy.
wife is not watching on you.
No, you're no longer with your wife. Come on, you can give her a hug.
I'm shy.
I'm shy daw.
Are you single ka, ma'am?
Opo, student pa lang po.
Oh, student, single. Okay, in 21 years old, you can give her a hug as a thank. As a gratitude. Go ahead. Don't be shy. Oh.
Ako.
Oh, okay. Palakpakan natin. Sige. Tomorrow, we'll take good care of all the problems, Mr. Swanty. And again, Ma'am Carrie, sobrang thank you. Sumasaludo po ako sa inyo, madam.
Yeah, no, we have more, of course. We have an update.
Yeah, and then we'll open up the room, go through some questions, guys.
Okay, so it says that, you know, we visited Rafi Tufo with a 54-year-old German national, and they titled the segment as Tata Empanada, which also basically means Daddy Empanada, I
Sorry, it
guess.
was their format. I had no choice. So it's slow. Is it easier to see it here?
And then it says, oh, oh, okay. No, there's some lag. And it says that again, Carriabad is the one that brought up Tatai into the limelight, as it were.
There's a delay. It should be long enough to read it.
Okay, so it says that Marco wants to become a permanent resident of the Philippines, in order so he can continue his empanada business.
Yeah, that's a rough 54, isn't it?
As of April 2, they helped Tatai with his immigration problem. So yeah, this is recent.
No, that's what I said. What's Just Facts said this was last week or whatever, but this video was literally released yesterday here in the Philippines. So I didn't see any prior shows, and they had it on Facebook. But remember, that's usually because they leaked some stuff out. But this is within this whole situation has been released in the last couple of
Right.
days.
Well, big shows like this, they don't release per day as of what happened today. They
But it's
usually
pretty up to date. So
right.
yeah.
So it says that Marco arrived here in 2015 in order to marry a Filipina. They separated after years of being together. Says that Marco loves the Philippines and wants to live here permanently.
Well, the video, where did you get the fees and all the update on that?
Oh, it says it on the video.
Oh, you haven't.
No, already. Oh, it's not done scrolling yet. There. Okay. Oh, okay. I guess this is like a
So just a recap.
recap and
Oh.
a synopsis, and it says that Carrie helped out Tata in order to survive here in the Philippines during that time that his wife left him. Oh yeah. I'm not sure if you heard it or not, or it got edited out. Because remember that um a lot of the video was edited out because again, there's a lot of repetition of certain words. But no, Rafi did hire a lawyer for
I'm
his
doing that because
immigration.
every time you touch that the whole time it's
He
going
did
to
hire a
the
lawyer
side.
for his immigration, to take care of him. So he did not just pay for the fees and fines; he paid for the surgery and the doctor, and of course, and the
So it's a
lawyer.
couple 100,000 that Rafi
Oh,
took
it's more
care of.
than that.
Okay.
That's just the immigration, and that's not even the full bill either. They
Right. Yeah, so in a nutshell, he was one of the lucky ones that he actually
Oh,
went through and helped, because this wouldn't be a norm with an 8-year overstay and him being on the street selling empanadas. He was lucky that nobody picked him up, arrested him, or turned him in, or because there's other street vendors over there, and so this guy really lucked out. So
And it also says, in addition to the immigration issue, in addition to the surgeries, Rafi gave him 15,000 as capital for him.
yeah, because he's opening up a storefront supposedly, but yeah, a lot of credit to the Filipina that's actually helping him for sure. So
Yeah, and it says that Tatay, or I guess Daddy Marco, as it were, he gives a wholehearted thank you to everybody who has helped him. So yeah, no, so Rafi, I mean, okay, now here's the thing, and again, nothing against Rafi, because I'm not. Well, first off, I'm not going to talk bad about him. What I was saying is, however, be aware that this is not a normal thing for him. Does he help people? Yes.
yes,
Does he help people on a regular basis? Yes. Does he help expats on a regular basis? At this extreme, no.
and for those that don't know, it looks like the Sarah Duterte and Senator Rafi are said to be the front runners for the 2028 presidential race. So they've got a couple groups that are saying they're running, and he's way ahead right now. So that would be like
Right. And I mean, not being political or anything. In all probability, as long as Rafi Tufo stays healthy,
he's got a good chance. With the
he
people.
probably will become president. Yes, the next Philippine president. Yes, as long as he stays healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, guys, don't think that. I mean, think about it this way. It's not just us. It's not just other people that's covered Rafi Tufo in a lot of videos, and there's a lot of foreigners on this show.
Yeah, I doubt he'll have time for that show.
Right.
We've opened up the room for people to come in and join today as far as our panel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But yes, well, I just go through some of the comments. I know there's a lot of comments about throughout here about World Zoom and everything. About the only thing we know is that he definitely lawyered up and everything. So
Anything new other than the last one?
yeah, and I don't think honestly the ones that are actually saying that, I understand that, but I still don't think it's going to help him. I'm still going to stick with there could be additional charges, but the biggest thing it's pointing to is that they seen his charges, and because they're reading in the newspaper and everything else exactly what actually happened in the government site, and I think that they're just going to deport him for that. So I don't think there's any getting out of that. So
Right. And for those of you who haven't watched our Peter Caldwell coverage, go look into our videos or live on the history in our history. And again,
we did a recap.
yeah, and that's what I'm getting at. Again, it's pretty comprehensive. We're pretty much laid out everything there, because I know a lot of people say, oh, there's new news. Well, not really.
Yeah. Oh my God. Remember who we said was going to cover that? And you said, well, at least that person did. And there's something, and he laughed. I told you that he did it late last night. It was like 3 days. What's it been? A couple days since that all started up.
Right.
And he was like, it was hilarious. That's somebody living in the US covering it.
Yeah.
Oh, they called him a popular vlogger, that he was yeah, it was kind of out there.
You're talking about
A
Zoom?
big,
Or you're talking
yeah,
about-
that Zoom is a big popular vlogger. And
Well, he was an up and coming, yes. Up and coming. I wouldn't say he reached his full potential, but he was an up and coming. Bruce Davis says, Georgia people just love to overstay. Yes, they do. Actually, it's a very common issue, and a lot of people think that they can get away with it, meaning, oh, well, just, go TNT, tago ng tago. No, he's
yeah, you put it.
yeah.
Hey, what's going on, you guys?
Hey, what's going on there, Bruce?
Oh, not much. Not much. Pretty crazy story.
Good morning.
No,
good
it
morning.
is. And like I said, guys, don't try to. Do some people get away with stuff? It's no different in the U.S. or the West. Some people get away with it, some people don't. But for the most part, they have been on this deportation spree, as it were. And I believe here's the thing: I believe it slowed down because of C-19 incident, but now I think it's back in full force. Right, that's what we said. Page Prepper. Obviously, he didn't have enough funds to buy another ticket.
Right. And that probably just become a cycle, but he wasn't even paying immigration.
Crazy, crazy, crazy.
Cedric Edwards says, "This is true. Everyone tries to tell me I need a business, but I look at foreigners with businesses. They all work from morning to night and age badly. No, if you're a business owner, it doesn't matter what part of the country you're in. That you don't own a business. You never do, because the business owns you.
Mm-hmm.
Any country doesn't matter. Any business you own, it's backwards. The business owns you. Right. Should have borrowed money from Paul. That's hilarious, actually."
Hey, good morning, Salem.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Kabalin. So,
Yeah,
I kind of doubt it doesn't make sense to me. A German being homeless, destitute, Philippines. It doesn't really make sense to me. Typically, among the Westerners, they're one of the good worst case scenario preppers, if for the lack of better words. So plus their
It
government
happens
are,
a lot, though.
yeah, I understand. It's just me. It's just me.
Yeah.
Uh, Second off, Rafi Tulfo, vested interest. What can I say? So if you see their studio in Mandaluyong, it's full of people lining up, seeking help, assistance, or resolve with their problems. But for some reason, if one thing gets viral and it involves a foreigner, they get the fast pass. And this is not the first time Rafi Tulfo helped one. There was in the past, prior to this, maybe sometime last year, um, he helped an American who got scammed by a young lady about the age of that girl. It's about 300,000 pesos. And what did Rafi do? He covered 250,000, if I'm not mistaken. So if it clicks, he'll pick up the issue. So
Right.
yeah, I don't know. I'm on the negative side. Plus, there is also a movement that is going against Rafi Tulfo, and there is this lawyer called Randy Libayan who's calling out his mistakes and his misinformation and his alleged gaslighting. Alleged gaslighting. That's what how it was described. So yeah, I don't know. Just me, my 2 cents.
Okay, so again, in all fairness, again, like I said, remember everything's perception. One, like the default reply to most people that we deal with. Okay, again, it's not neither no pro or con. Whenever there's an issue that gets brought up, the default most expats say, "Oh, go to Rafi Tulfo show. Go to Rafi Tulfo show." However, the I know Salem says he helped out an American for 250,000 pesos over, and this one's I'm thinking it's somewhat probably my my estimate. It didn't come from the show's mouth. My estimate they probably spent about 270,000, and that's why I said earlier, this is not normal. Which means again, a lot of times, a lot of expats do go to the Rafi Tulfo show and don't get any help only because depending on the situation, Rafi says, okay, he'll kind of guide them, but not help them, if that makes any sense. Not monetarily.
Yeah, it's
He's
only happened a few times
right.
where
He
he's talked about
doesn't
the
throw
expats.
money like here's 250K, here's 250K. Everybody gets 250K. No, that is not what the Rafi Tufo show is about. Rafi Tufo show, like I said, is a show. Their objective is to get audience and create profit, regardless of how big or small the profit is. It still has to stay on. It can't operate on red. It still has a
Yeah.
staff. It still has production.
Like Andy
Hey,
said,
George.
Rafi has a god complex and he wanted to be King Solomon. So
Right.
George,
But even then, I'm not again,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be political here, but again, I was specifically talking about the show. Now as far as shortcomings or blessings, that is up to the audience. And what I'm saying is, again, we're not, as it were, Rafi's not on on trial here because one, he is a political figure. He has his, everybody. He's human. I mean, he has pluses and minuses. He has pros and cons. It doesn't matter whether you're on his side or not his side. On in general, is he somewhat of a good person? I believe so. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But not everybody will agree to him. You know what I'm saying. Whether you're pro Rafi or anti Rafi, not everybody's gonna agree or disagree with him. I mean, it's just the way
So
it is.
George, I got a question for you. So so Rafi pays for his lawyer and then pays his what was I thought you had to I thought you had to pay that or something like thought you had to leave or something like don't they have to deport you or something or
Not
and then you had to
necessarily.
pay it before you could come back again? I mean, so
Not
he's
necessarily.
basically is
I think I
that's
think
okay?
it's kind of genius, probably for the fact that he did is why he didn't.
Right. Not necessarily. And I say not necessarily. This is also a cautionary tale too as well. Now, first off, this is a feel good story. What I'm saying is nothing. I mean, sure, did he lose his wife? But you know what? Obviously, it's the wrong wife. You know what I'm saying? Because, for better, for richer, for poorer, for, in good times and bad times, obviously she left him on and turned bad. So it wasn't the right woman for him in the first place. So technically, this is a good tale. Now, to answer your question, Bruce, be aware again, this can swing both ways. And what I'm getting at is now Rafi is a senator. You know what that means? He can basically I was not saying do what he wants, but he definitely has more influence than most people have in the Philippines. You know what I'm saying? He'll be like, "Oh well, here's my lawyer. You deal with him, make it happen. Boom, done." You know what I'm saying? So on the same note, somebody of similar power can take things away from you too. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like you don't have to be a felon as in our last you know previous topics, that you don't have to be a felon to be deported. All you have to do is be nasty to the wrong or right person, as it were. If you cussed out the immigration
Yeah, it's
agent
kind of
at the
like World
gate.
Zoom. There could be 2 or 3 other
Right.
reasons that this is happening because we know that felonies are accepted here, no doubt, but it
Correct.
depends on what type and if there's anything that he did additional, if other people reported stuff. There could be just about anything. I'm talking about like a girlfriend here said something or otherwise. It's hard saying.
Right. And it
I've
has
got a
happened that
friend.
foreigners have been deported because of cussing out an immigration agent.
But they also would have put that in the newspaper. So they tend to, when they're talking about deporting um, foreigners, no matter where they're from, they usually say, like, if it was for domestic abuse or something else that it was for, they would have put that in the government paper and the other papers. But they're all printing pretty much the same thing, that he was a wanted fugitive, which is
Right. Yeah.
it's kind of odd, but they're mentioning the same amount from his case that was actually on file in the U.S. So some people are saying that he actually, like somebody in the office seen it or something, or they discovered it and they decided, hey, he was still wanted, a misunderstanding, but they've already moved forward with everything. Now they've got him. I don't think they're going to go backwards and let him out, but it's hard saying. Anything's like possible.
I mean,
Yeah.
I got a friend, like I told Andy, today, that he has drug charges, from a lot of years ago. But he cleaned his act up. He doesn't drink. He doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, he changed his whole lifestyle. And he's lived in the Philippines and, off on in Thailand too. And obviously he's not on YouTube saying, "Hey, look, I'm doing this weird crap,"
Here I am. Yeah.
But he actually went into immigration, explained, talked to him, did politely, and they let him stay. And they looked up his record in the U.S. They looked, how far back, that he had gotten in trouble. Obviously, has he been causing problems where he's at?
Yeah, it all depends. It's not always an instant, but you always got to keep that in the back of your head too, no matter what. I mean, as long as you're keeping your nose clean, you should be okay. So.
Yep, my glasses are a felony. That's right, Gabriel. They're a felony. I just committed one.
Chosen One says, "This is all nonsense. Do not pass go. Do not collect 200. Deport him already. The Philippines should not be supporting poor expats. The Philippines already
stole all
struggling."
that money. Should have went wearing. Maybe he could have had a facelift. Maybe spray painted himself black or something.
Like those glasses.
Yeah. Well, basically, like Chosen One and Black Grandpa have the same.
But George, I'm not telling him to overstay, but I really don't think that guy. I mean, the guy is old.
I can't.
The guy's
He's
nice
kind of
to his
breaking up.
community.
You're
he's
breaking
a nice
up.
friend helping him.
I'm missing something. Can you say that again?
Black Grandpa is kind of agreeing with Chosen One. Says, "I always find it odd the guys travel broke and have no one in their country, and then they ask to send them some even for a plane ticket."
And see, I get it and understand, as much as we talk about like we're on a budget and we have discussed, like one time, a long time ago, we covered an entire thing about how the homeless population is increasing in other countries, the US. People are living out of their cars or living out of small mobile homes, like literally campers on wheels and stuff. And then how Los Angeles had them all lined up down the streets and people living in tents. And we have done an entire video and live on this before, that if that's where I was at, then you should consider, if you've got a pension, Social Security, and other things, to go live in other countries. It would only make sense. Why sit there and totally live on the street situation? So I get it too. So you do get a lot of people for multiple reasons that are running from things, running here because they just, it's there's multiple reasons. Some are coming here for dating, and it's super expensive to date in the US. But I get a lot of people come here for financial gain. I've seen big people on social media, medium channels, and all that. I just seen a guy that probably appears to be about middle class and the things that he shows and everything. And he's saying that it's so expensive in the US. It's a rat race out there. There's a matrix going on, wake up people and all of that. And he's in his 30s or something. And I get that. He knows that it's cheaper here, but comes from a middle class family. But why sit there and pay $3,000 rent? And why sit there and pay, like the insurances are increasing, car insurance, house insurance, buying houses are becoming more difficult. I get the financial reasons to actually come here. But the guys coming here, for the most part, even if they're pre-planning, they got to understand there's inflation and all of that is going on.
The one that we were left out in the dark is what is his retirement plan? Does he even qualify eventually for a retirement plan? Does he eventually qualify for?
Well, that's
for
like
a pension?
regular guy. He's been out of Canada forever, and he's just gone from one place to the other. And you heard him say, He doesn't really have a plan, and there's a lot of people that don't have a plan.
Right, and there's
I
nothing
didn't
wrong with that. I
plan.
mean,
Right. Nope, nothing wrong with that.
again, I give respect for those who again grab life by the balls. Again, that's to me that's commendable. That takes a lot of courage.
Yeah. Grab life by the balls until you become a public charge, regular guy. I'm talking about.
Well,
It's hard
that
to have
is
an
true.
it's hard. I don't know. I'm sorry for the opposing view. I don't mean to be controversial. It's just discussion. For someone like me, I'm a transplant here in U.S. Well, I still have interest in Philippines. It's always trying to find the knowledge on where to get things done or have some money. Basically, a lot of trials and errors. And if you see something, I frown upon seeing somebody like that German guy or a regular guy. I kind of frown upon those.
Right, but not everybody's, not everybody's actually planned that's coming here for sure. So, matter of fact, there's quite a bit of people. And there are those that pretend that they do have money too. And then it turns out in the end, you'll see that they really don't have money. So it's kind of like that fake it till they actually make it and then actually get caught afterwards, not being able to survive here. And there's a lot of that going on. So, of course, you want to have savings. Of course, you want to have several backup plans. We talked about that a long time ago. You should have multiple backups, but things do happen. So, and it is really, really getting expensive to live in the West for sure.
Yeah, it's really expensive and it's really highly mismanaged on top of that. I live in California, in San Francisco. In fact,
Right.
yesterday, I almost stepped on a human poop. It's really that dirty, mismanaged. It's a mess. I went there for one of my listings and the contractor called me. The lockbox is gone. So I had to troubleshoot this small, but big trouble. It's quite troublesome because people are doing, it's just the criminality and the S show in general. But yeah, here I am trying to keep up.
Yeah.
Right now, just facts. Actually, this applies with a lot of food here in the Philippines because that's one of the issues we talk about. Just facts says when you see the empanadas that he sells, would you buy from this guy? Now, first problem I have with this, not what Just Facts says. The problem I have with this particular instance is one, he never ever made or cooked the empanadas himself. First, an African American dude made them for him, gave it to him for free, and then he sold them. Then when he lost when he argued with the African American dude, a Filipina stepped in and her mom started making the empanadas for this German dude. Okay, so he did not produce the empanadas. Now back to the question: would you buy empanadas from this guy? And that's why I preface it with that is because if I were to buy food, I would, if there's an American, keyword American, not German. Again, you would know once you start talking to the guy. If there's an American and he's selling empanadas, oh yeah, I'd definitely buy him. You know why? Because I'm used to American empanadas. You know what I'm saying? Because I know how they season, cook particular things. So, for example, if I want tacos, if I want Mexican tacos, not American tacos, two different things. And I see a Mexican guy selling tacos here in the Philippines, oh, I would buy from the Mexican dude. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, DBA.
So I wouldn't exclude it straight out. Oh, he's an expat. I'm not going to buy from him. I wouldn't do that. Because again, remember when they cook the food, odds are they'll make it to their taste. That's all I was getting at again, because
Okay, I disagree all the way around. I mean, it just depends on their setup, and usually we buy
no,
from the same
I
people because you don't know where they're cooking this
no,
stuff,
I know that,
and
and you wouldn't know until you
because there
try
are
it.
no standards, not even close. At least the U.S. makes it hard for you to, which people do it anyways, but they at least used to make it hard for you to sell in different places without full setups, expecting um, just inspections, everything else. But here there is a standard set up, but I don't think a lot of people are. So the fact that he just has a little table in the beginning and he's selling them, that's what always surprised me is like the TikTok thing and people buying food like that online or the different things like that, and that they're shipping out and buying that stuff. But I mean, for me, that'd be a no unless we know the people.
No,
And
I understand that, but Heidi knows this. I always say the same thing. I buy food from different vendors all the time on a regular basis. And I always say, after, if say Heidi didn't like it or I didn't like it, you don't know until you try it. You know, I mean,
yeah, I just wouldn't recommend people to do it.
well, I mean, that's, you know, then just stay in restaurants. Just saying. I mean,
Yeah.
well, even then, even in restaurants, doesn't mean you go to a restaurant, it's better. You know what
No, I'm
I'm
not saying that that is either. So you just gotta.
saying? You gotta have plan B. Yes, I agree.
It's kind of like when you see those cookers or the guys in India doing the cooking, and part of it's on the ground or different things that they're doing, and the standard of some of their cooking, and it's kind of like you just have to use your own judgment of what's actually going on.
Right. He wanted to stay in the Philippines because Filipinos were kind-hearted. Pretty much. And he says he's mooching off the people, a leech. Well, everybody falls on hard times. Well, see, that's the thing, Robert. This guy got lucky, and or specifically, this guy got lucky. He did get out of the blacklist. Somebody helped him out. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, see that I get it. I get it. Okay, George Rafatufo is not well versed with the law. He got an online nemesis, attorney Bayan, calling out his ignorance and hubris. Here's the thing. I repeat it a lot. It's a show. Honestly, I think again, he says things that don't make sense to get a rise out of the audience, to get more views. It's a show, and a lot of
Correct.
people forget it.
Yeah,
It's a
that whether
show.
it's TikTok or
Yeah.
YouTube or Facebook, some actually will say the opposite. Yes.
So
Right.
don't take it verbatim. You know, you can never do that. You know what I'm saying? Actually, yeah. See, the one thing I did notice that he says Rafi says he was gonna pay his fines if he can afford it. Yes, he did. He did put in that little small fine print, as it were.
Which he did,
Yeah,
by the way.
yeah.
So
Well, yeah, I know, but the funny part is he did kind of says kind of like, it's one of those may or may not kind of statements at the end of him talking. No, it is. It's extremely difficult. You can't get citizenship because you're married. No, right? Breaking all the rules for this guy. Well, it's luck of the draw. You again, odds are you probably won't.
that's and I'm going to mention that's an interesting call that Red Zone Mindanao is go-go. So it's not the first time we heard that. So I don't know if it's because he's British or if they're actually sure of that, but just understand a lot of these channels have multiple accounts and sock puppet accounts to go in, and so he's dressed up like that before, Papa Bear.
No,
So
yeah,
he wore this
they're
outfit.
yeah.
Not a farmer.
I have a rotation of clothes, and I try not to wear the same clothes, on a regular basis. I have a good rotation. Yeah, a healthy rotation. No, they're not together. But I believe he did not go back.
No, they said he had even another girlfriend. So
Scott says I'm dressed up like this because I'm looking for hoes.
yeah, could be. Very well could be.
Victoria says preferential treatment, lucky for him. Yet contrary to again, Bureau of Immigration by the rules. Yes, I
Yeah.
agree.
And you just never know. So
Oh my gosh, Chosen, you ain't right.
Right?
This that guy inspired me to take my multivitamins every day.
Right.
Oh dang, Black
It
Grandpa.
says Gogo is Oz. He is farming for super chat. Sure. It's what makes the world go round. He said he was joking, but yeah, it's funny. I think so. He says he's abusing his power to undermine immigration, which it is funny who they'll arrest and who they won't. Also, I think it goes to expats' heads and Filipinos' heads that if they simply report somebody at immigration, that they're going to go down too. It has to be a pretty solid situation, and you have to do it in writing. So people that keep saying that they're going to get Mark thrown out or they're going to get this person, and like there's a list of people that they claim that they're going to have thrown out without solid proof and real reports. It doesn't happen either. So in the case of Mr. Thornton, um, there's solid stuff and the attorneys are in contact with immigration. That's something different. So, but yeah.
Now, Brian again made a good point, and he says he should be deported. The Philippines doesn't need these geriatric liabilities up to Germany to look after him. Now, I'm not saying deport the guy. I'm not saying that. The issue I see is,
And we just, like I said, we just mentioned that German guy. There was just that German guy here in Angel City that's running around. Same thing.
right, another German guy.
We did that whole coverage, and he's still here on the streets. There's a bunch of Americans near Walking Street that are actually same thing. There's a lot of homeless here that are expats.
Right.
So this
And-
guy lucked out.
Right, no, he lucked out. But that's the thing. Lucked out.
Mhm.
And what I'm getting at is, did he dig himself out of the hole? No. He had a hand up or leg up, as it were. Somebody gave him a helping hand, which again, there's nothing wrong with that. The problem you face is that since he did not get himself out of the hole he's in all probability, he's going to fall back into the same hole. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't mean that Rafi Tufo cleared out his immigration. It doesn't mean that Rafi Tufo gave him 15,000 pesos. That's forever. No. Will it probably happen again? We don't know. We really don't know if he's going to fall back into that hole. We don't know. We don't know if he's going to keep up with his immigration. I mean, granted, yeah, he's got a fresh start in immigration. Doesn't mean he's going to keep paying his immigration, because even as a permanent resident, you still have fees.
I don't think there's that much money in what he's doing, because there are people that have had shops forever that do really good business, and it's not easy to support a household. And so I don't know that that'll even be enough income generated, even if a shop's opened up.
Right. So only time will tell whether or not he'll actually move forward and be
I don't even know how half these people stay in business here. It just shocks us. We know that a lot of businesses closes.
That's
really
a real
quick
thing.
here.
Yes.
Because if he gave him 15,000 pesos, that's how much the rentals are for these tiny booths. And you said they're up to 20 or 25,000.
Well,
So when you see those narrow little
16,000
little
is the average
offices.
booth cost without electricity
Right.
and water.
They're very small. I mean, they're very narrow and very small, and not a lot of room. Like that sorry store that we always go to up on MacArthur. It's really teeny tiny,
Right.
and those things are 15 to 20,000, and that's really really high here. So that's about $400, and so it'll be enough to pay his first month. But at empanadas, even if he's selling them at 25 now, that's pretty much, I don't know, that's like 40 cents each or something. It would be really rough.
That's another thing.
So,
Again, that Carrie and her mom are the one making these empanadas
yep.
for the guy.
So that means
That's only going to carry so long. You can farm on the kindness of people, but regardless of nationality, Filipino, Hawaiian, American, Australian, that hospitality we're
right.
off.
So he will still have to pay immigration. So
correct,
because they won't give him the permanent residency visa. So
no, that's a
for
given.
sure.
Yes.
Hey, welcome back, Bruce.
Hey.
And we do have the actual panel open if you guys want to come on. And if you guys haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe.
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 Just Fact says foreigners will keep going to other countries if they can't handle the home country. Most of them run away from their problems instead of solving them. Some.
Yeah.
Some.
I think everybody has problems. I think that's too emphasized. Me and George had a full conversation about World Zoom again and the things he went through and, judgment being passed. And we kind of went through that whole topic, but then we discussed that he continued to tell people all these different things, the things that he told people back in the US, the things he kept saying here. Of course, we knew he was in the military a short period of time. We know that he had a different name. We know all these different things all these different things that are about him, but then he continued on with it. But everybody has that past. Everybody is not innocent. And we know that people run from countries over here to the Philippines, but I think it's a multitude of reasons. Nobody is like free of all past and they've got a ton of money and they just come here. There are people with a ton of money with other issues that they're actually running from. But I don't think that's what I used to think when I first got here, because that appeared every time that, oh my God, they were running for this reason, or they were trying to get away from their family and the rat race. And I think there are multiple reasons. I just don't think it's one reason that people take
No,
off.
no.
But
No,
like World Zoom, running around and
right. Black Grandpa, did the German guy father any kids with his ex-wife? None that are disclosed anyway. Andy Omar says, haven't heard of the term TNT in many years. TNT, again, for those of you who are new to the channel, it's TNT Tago ng Tago, which means illegal alien. Hide and hide is the direct translation. Let's see. Well, Brian, again, it's really not up to, well, on this part, technically, if
If it
Rafi
wasn't
did
for
not
Rafi,
step in, yes, they would have.
eventually,
Yes.
because that, now that you say it, we were discussing that in general, as long as you're not like being public, like this guy was in public, there are people here still selling things in public as foreigners, running the YouTube channels and everything else, then you probably won't get messed with. But we were talking about foreigners living in provinces or foreigners living in the city. It's just as much of a problem if you're out in the province. The problem you have with all those issues going on of hiding from immigration and people think they can run out to the province, you then have to grease some palms possibly of people when you're living out in the province to not rat you out, or you got to stay super down low and quiet. You wouldn't want to be running a YouTube channel with cameras in the face when you actually have issues. And it's, you just got to.
Right. Victoria says Rafi mostly helps Filipinos and occasionally helps Westerners and expats. Yes, he mostly helps Filipinos. I would say 2 out of 10 foreigners he helps, 8 out of 10 he doesn't.
Yeah, we agree. Zoom did lie and continued to lie. And yes, the FBI did want him. He's not on a current list though. I think it's just there's something additional, but the fact that the Philippine agency is actually repeating his old crime, I think they're just having him leave for that reason. Although they talk about morality and things and reasons why you won't pass immigration, and I don't think Zoom's crimes are actually, they are white collar. We're not going to discount it, but it could be the large amount of money that's really freaking the Philippines out that he owed. So, or that he actually stole and then had to repay back.
Right.
I'd be really surprised if there's additional charges that he avoided, but anything's possible. But both those charges were actually mentioned. So when he went to federal prison and everything, the hospital and the agency that he was siphoning it off to, them were all in his indictment and his co-conspirator. And so unless there was additional places, I just think their exact words was his old crime. I just think that somebody found it, somebody seen it, and
The
Right.
the sad part about everything is this guy's gonna, besides him, that could have faced 296 years, um, got out after a certain amount of years, and this guy's gonna have to watch his back everywhere.
you're talking about Zoom.
Yeah.
I doubt he gets out. I'm pretty sure he's going back to the U.S. I don't think at this point with the government having him, they'll let him out.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like, okay, he ratted out his buddy that he was basically shipping that money to overseas, right?
Right.
You got to look at it like this. Maybe this is just me, but I still believe that he put himself in a position to get out. Whatever he knew, he got out at within a couple of years for telling them whatever they needed to be told. Okay, whatever information about this guy. So maybe his partner will never get out. I don't know, but this guy's gonna have to look behind his shoulder. This guy lies. This guy steals. This guy cheats. I mean, this guy is like a walking time bomb. All right. Well, all I'm saying is this guy is gonna have to look. That guy that's locked up in prison right now, in federal prison, he's got friends on the outside.
Oh, so you're saying he should actually look out? Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah. Especially if you put a guy away for however long, maybe for the rest of his life.
Gotcha.
I don't know, Heidi. What do you think?
I don't know. Excuse me. I think it's been a little bit. So he's been out for a while, since 2017. Maybe that's why he is trying to stay overseas. Hiding out at his mom, possible.
Could be.
Well,
Maybe he
since
wants
we're on
to
the
run
topic
away.
of Caldwell,
Yeah.
there are some speculations that state that he went to the U.S. to expunge his records. Now, here's my problem with that story. Again, I'm not judgmental. I'm not that type of person. I have a good tendency to analyze things. Expunging of records. The purpose of expunging records is that way the public cannot find out what you did or have done. Okay. That being said, there is absolutely zero reason for Paul Caldwell to expunge his records. Why? Doesn't matter what country he's in. Doesn't matter what job he applies for. I don't care if he goes to McDonald's and applies at McDonald's. A simple Google search will bring up what he did. And now it's a common practice. All employers do. Google the employee. Did we have background checks? Yes. Do we Google employees? Yes. Point being, nowadays, if your crime is that public, expunging it is not going to help, especially this guy. Again, I'm not falling judgment on him. What I'm saying is, expunging his record at this point, at this magnitude, is pointless. Because again, a simple
Right.
Google search, he's there. Boom. There you go.
Yeah, I was trying to see. I don't see anything under his other name either. So
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I was checking, is he has a second name.
Right.
So they're both matched up on the FBI as 2013, but
Yeah.
who knows? And I do understand that theft is the morality and actually in there, but there are people here for those type of felonies and they're not making them leave. So I mean, but it's a large amount. And that's probably where it lies. So believe me, there's felons here. So it's up to them to weed them out and stuff. So, but I think it's because of the large amount and the multiple charges and the 15 wire frauds and the different things is why. So, yeah.
Right. And also remember, it doesn't mean that one person, the exact same felonies, made it through or did not make it through. What I'm saying is what some person might get through the cracks, some person might not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
John Roberts made a good point. Look, if you have a guarantee, if you don't have a guaranteed income of a minimum of $1,200, do not go to the Philippines.
And
You
I
will
would
run
say
into
even more
problems.
now, if you don't have something close to 2,000, I wouldn't attempt it even as a single person because it's just not income. People don't realize money doesn't fix everything here. You have to, and you're not going to instantly be fixed when you get to the Philippines either. So it's a daily struggle dealing with things. Things change a lot here on a daily basis, and it's,
Yeah.
there are things to be learned. And living in another country, there's a lot of things going on.
Gabrielle says takes a lot of stupidity too, especially if you have children. Yes, if you have children, you have to be extra responsible. Yeah, because now you have dependents, as it were.
Yeah. Like Heidi said, like with what is it? One of the other shows he did with what's his name? A lot of kids, a lot of single mothers, a lot of kids down by the downtown by the river, under the bridge. See all those
Yeah.
little kids, and it's sad. It really is, and it's really pathetic. That I think people think it's like, yeah, okay, we're going here, we're going to go to the Philippines, and it's just like, well, I got this money, and next thing you know, they spend it stupid. Next thing you know, they're sitting outside homeless.
That's true. So
Now just facts again. This is going back on the food of the guy selling empanadas. George, I don't care to eat a Mexican restaurant in the Philippines. I haven't found a good one. I guess that's what I meant. I've lived in LA for the longest time and worked in East LA over 20 years. Now, again, like I said, that's up to you. And what I mean also, your taste is also the same way. Kind of like, again, most Mexican restaurants in the US are actually not selling you actual authentic Mexican food, just saying. The same way, again, there's, pizza, same thing. I get it. You fly over here in the Philippines, forget the pizzas. You have to really find one that'll work for you. Food is food. Again, not everybody cooks it the way you're used to, regardless of what they claim to be. And the reason why I say claim to be, because
Well, I bet you Heidi that she's American. I bet you she can cook up some of that good American food, George. So, and I'm sure it's probably just the same as it is, that somebody that knows how to
yeah,
cook.
no, I do a lot of cooking for multiple reasons. So yeah.
I'm sure
Although
she does
sometimes
both,
it
right?
is cheaper to get it from the street vendors. It's exactly that, street food. You can't control the salt, the sugar, how clean it is. You got hepatitis going around. You got all kinds of things that are going around. What's the other one that
Dirty
we said
cups.
besides hepatitis?
pertussis.
Well, I'm not worried as much about that, but yeah, I mean,
Well,
I guess if
hepatitis
they
is the
call,
major one. The other one's TB.
yeah, TB. So these are all things that, the food can be exposed to, or the counters or anything. And if it's not for the standards of it not being cooked, it's just too many things to worry about, and it's not worth the risk to get a $1 bag of food because you don't want to actually cook. So that's a problem. So,
Okay,
Give
so
that
but yes, we
$1.
do a lot of cooking for many
yeah,
reasons. Yeah.
no, Heidi cooks a lot. Now see, for instance, this is a very good statement that Bisayan says. Just facts. There's a real one in Bukidnon. Amazing. Mexican guy and his Filipino running the place. I feel like I am in Guadalajara, which means he has been in Mexico. He has actually eaten authentic Mexican food. Um, that's something I would bank in because it's kind of like I used to go to a lot of Italian restaurants in the US, but it's not real Italian. It's American Italian, not the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Scott in the world as I see it. I actually spent New Year's Eve and part of New Year with Scott in Candy Palace or Towers, depending on what you would call it. And while me and Scott were having our soda, as it were,
Mhm.
um gentleman named David, okay, approached us, and guess what he was doing? He was an expat selling these liqueur-filled chocolates, and they were the best liqueur-filled chocolates I've ever eaten because I'm a big fan of liqueur-filled chocolates. I've eaten every type of brand, well, most of every type of brand you can find in the U.S. But no, his stuff is really good, but it does beg, you know, to question why. I mean, his chocolates were expensive, yes. They run from 500 pesos to 1,000. Now, to you guys, that may not be a lot, but nobody's gonna pay a day's wage as far as Filipinos are concerned. Nobody's gonna pay 500 pesos for a small box of chocolates. That's not even a big box. That's a small box. So obviously he's targeting expats. You know what I'm saying? But it makes you wonder why he does that for a living.
Yep, they can get expensive for sure. Food. Very true.
Yeah. John Robert says you all just remember you're in another country, not yours. You don't have the safety net you had in your own country. Not to mention, um, usually most of these establishments or government projects that aid people don't aid expats. Obviously, if you're in Canada or whatever country you're visiting, by default they don't aid foreigners.
Right.
Actually, put it this way, it's as simple as this. We had Mango. You know, we had his little balls cut off. The If I took him to for example, they have these government um spay neuter projects. If that establishment is, for example, in Angel City, and then they check my ID and it shows I'm from a block, I'm not automatically disqualified, and I'm Filipino. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying is most of these,
It's hard to get.
correct. You can't get help unless you're technically a local. Oh, there it is. Yeah, the German in Walking Street selling chocolate. Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly him. Yes. So you know who I'm talking about, and that's kind of like, yeah. Why? I mean, I honestly didn't drill the guy because I mean, he's busy selling, and I didn't want to take up his time. Oh, okay. Scott says I think the guy selling chocolate was from Norway. Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. He had like, yeah. I guess it would be a Norwegian accent, but I don't really remember. But yeah, he probably is from Norway. Yeah. Um. Well, this is another thing too. Most homeless don't want to get caught, sent back, possibly either because of embarrassment, cut ties, etc., etc. Many excuses, many reasons. Yeah, I mean that's true. He may not want to go back to Germany because he doesn't want to be like he. They send him back to Germany, and then his family like, "I told you so. I told you so."
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
No, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
Pride.
Not everybody's family, not everybody that's in families, get along. Once you reach a certain age and stuff, it's like, you leave. A lot of times, that's what happened with like, a lot of my family after my grandparents died. Everybody just kind of split on their own.
All right.
Everybody, well, they were even like, it was crazy, man. At my grandma's funeral, man, people were fighting, man, right next to her casket over over what they're going to get. Like,
That is true.
I couldn't believe this, and it's pathetic that you would do something like that. Like that day was, meant for my grandmother, not what you're going to get to fill your pocket with or what you're going to take from her.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. That's why I just, there's nothing, what? There's nothing that needs to be taken. That's how I look at it, because every family, especially like in America, man, they're greedy once somebody dies.
No. That, yes, again, that.
Anyways, I apologize. I didn't mean to. You're bringing up these, like, where I'm thinking here. You're saying like you can't get help, but like we choose to go there as foreigners. So nobody owes us anything, and nobody has to give us anything.
Yep.
So that's what came to mind.
Yeah, and we always say, always have an exit strategy.
Very true.
I mean,
George, very true.
it's one of those things. I mean, well, I mean, I was gonna go explain more, but no. I mean, it's that simple. You just have to have an exit strategy. And Salem the Realtor is asking is if Beanie Baby smuggling is an offense.
It is. It is.
Yep, they'll put you on the blacklist for sure on the Bureau of Immigration for sure. Oh, show.
Beanie Babies. So I know I said, I think it was, well, when were you guys on? I think it was the other night or the other morning, whatever it was in the US. And I think I said, Heidi, what crime Heidi would, and I forgot about the Beanie Babies, what crime Heidi would do. And I did say Dunkin' Donuts, that she would steal the donuts for George. George would eat it, so there would be no more evidence. So now I'm thinking about it. Maybe Heidi would take those Beanie Babies.
No,
Right.
now to clarify, me eating those donuts, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. That is called taking one for the team. Because I'm that kind of guy.
George, you know what? When I get there, and if you got time, you and Heidi can meet up. I will buy you a Boston cream. I'll buy you a couple of them.
There's your Boston creams, yeah.
All right.
Right.
Gabriel Laxon says, Candy Pass sounds like a strip club. I wonder what history is behind the name. No, it does, and it sounds skeezy, but it's actually a very nice place. It's very classy, other than some somewhat questionable pictures. But no, it does sound dirty, but it's not. It's actually a wonderful, beautiful place. Yes. If I meet up you guys, I'll do a donut buffet for you guys. That'd be interesting. I've never seen a donut buffet before. Well, I've seen donuts on a buffet, but it'd be interesting to have a donut buffet.
George says, I'm in.
You know what I miss? KFC buffets.
Yeah, they actually have those, and
Yeah, I miss KFC buffets. I love KFC buffets, but they got rid of those a long time ago. Oh, okay. No. Bruce Davis saying that he's been in Manila 3 times.
I can't say the name. I always screw it up. It's Q. It's Qzon. My friend of mine lived there.
Oh, is he talking about Kazon? Did he say Kazon?
Kazon. Yeah, Kazon City
Kazon.
and Manila that I went to. And I went to BGC, like, I was there, for, I don't know, a couple days. But I spent, like, I only spent about, like, I think, like, the first time it was that I went, I spent 7 days. So basically 6 days, and then the 7th day I had to go fly back.
All right.
I went back. And I got to spend 10 days, so 9 days, and then I had to go on the 10th day. And then the last time I went, which was in, what was it? Still 2013, 2015, and it was 2018 was the last time I went, and I was there for another week in Manila, and that's it. I haven't been back since.
Hmm.
Right. Oh, and guys, not picking on anybody, but whenever you speak of locations in the Philippines, try to give be more complete. And again, I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just saying, for example, Quezon. There's Quezon City and there's Quezon Province. For example, there's Zamboanga City and there's Zamboanga Province.
Right.
There's Surigao City and there's Surigao Island. I'm just letting you guys know that sometimes,
Quezon
be
City.
aware that if somebody
Quezon
says
City.
something off to you, like, oh, they're in Surigao, and then they say something and they're like, that didn't make sense. They're probably because they're talking about a different place. Because, for example, Zamboanga City is like is by Bulacan, which is here in Luzon, but Zamboanga Province is in Mindanao. You know what I'm saying? Because of the names. I'm just letting you guys know again. Be just whenever you're speaking in locations, try to say the suffix. Whether it's city, island, or whatever. No
Yeah.
big deal. Yeah.
So yeah, I've been to Manila and Quezon City.
Yeah, city. I
And
figured
maybe
it's city because Quezon
City
Province,
Manila.
although it's close,
Not
city's
no
closer.
provinces.
Right. No, I figured that one, yes. Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being with us. Hopefully this has been a lesson to you. Oh,
Let's-
I mean,
yeah,
again,
they'll either catch you or they won't situation.
right?
And if you
Exactly.
know Rafi, you might get out of things. That's what I've learned.
Well, think about it this way. When Rafi, if he decided not to help this guy would be double screwed because he just brought his immigration issues to light. So if Rafi decides, I'm not going to help you, then he's doubly in a worse situation than he came in with. You know what I'm saying? I understand he came to Rafi for help, but if Rafi decided not to help, now it's a deeper hole. You know what I'm saying? So no, the guy actually
And
lucks
it's up
out.
to him to keep up on things because he's still involved in a business. They'll still be looking at him having work permits and business permits and hard saying how much is in her name. So it's just going to bring everything to light for him. So always
All right,
somebody
thanks,
watching.
guys.
But thank you. Thank you
Thanks
for
so much,
dropping
Bruce.
in, Bruce.
Thanks so much, Salem.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Sarah.
you so much.
And our members that have come
Yeah, thank you so
in.
much, Scott.
Bruce and Scott. Who else do we have in the house today? Sarah. Kind of read through. Scott in the World, as I see it, was in the house. Andy. Travel Trends, DV8.
Victoria.
Victoria was in the house.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. We appreciate you so much. We love you all. No, I didn't see Ted.
All right, guys. We will see you guys the next time.
Thank
Bye,
you, guys. Bye.
guys.